So today, we've got a mod to do on the Miata sway bars. This giant thing. They sit in between your wheels and essentially act as a giant spring to stop body roll. So this is what body roll is.
I look like I'm twerking.
Now how sway bars work, each wheel sits at the end, and when one wheel goes higher from body roll, it twists it back, forcing more stabilization into the car and giving you more grip around corners. This is supposedly a pretty easy mod to install. Hopefully we don't have any troubles with it, but there is instructions included, which is always a plus, and there's not too many parts we're gonna have to take out other than the old sway bars themselves. When you're upgrading your sway bars, what you're gonna wanna look for is how thick of a sway bar you get. Obviously, the thicker the sway bar, the more force is gonna be applied when it's twisted. Another thing to look out for is if they're adjustable. So you can see these two holes here. This allows you to adjust the stiffness of your sway bar after it's been installed. So if you do the further one away, it's gonna make it softer, and the closer one is gonna make it stiffer. Now this kit from Whiteline includes a sway bar for your front and rear, has all the adjustable end links, new bushes, and includes all the little bits and pieces like hardware and grease. Now the whole kit from Whiteline is about $780 Australian from their website, but I managed to get a deal for about 30% off that they had running for the whole month of March. So there are deals that you can get to get a pretty good discount on these. So we're gonna go drive the car right now and test how much body roll there is at the moment without the new sway bars. So let's go do that. Let's get the car jacked up.
I'm not gonna get judged on my mechanic ability.
Just taking off the end links, just getting replaced with
Those boys. It's adjustable, so you can twirl it around, lengthen it, shorten it. All right, so we've just taken out the rear sway bar, and that's what it was in the car. That's what we're replacing it to. And there, look how much thicker it is.
Yeah, it's pretty thick, eh?
It should make a decent amount of difference. Like what, you pick up this one and you can't move it, pick up that one, and if I'm stronger, can't move it either.
This is an end link that we're replacing, and it's really cracked, and that's what it's getting replaced with. Like, so that's the difference. The quality. Like, this is still pretty strong, but that's gonna be better. All these bushes, because it's a 30-year-old car, and I reckon these have probably never been replaced. I mean, have a look at those. Those are, it's pretty bad, pretty cracked. I doubt that they're doing much to keep the car stiff. There is a upside down on those ones.
Is it?
So if you hold it up, they're on an angle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So you need to make sure you put them in the right way. Now, so that you want the ends to be like that. Oh, damn. Oh, I might need the WD-40. This is actually ridiculous.
Yeah. Just spray a bit of that on it.
Ooh, did you hear that? That was a big crack. All right, it's out. I just need to get it out. So here we can see the bushing. So it's pretty sad looking, pretty cracked. Putting the new one on should already give us some performance if we were just replacing that. But putting a whole new sway bar in, it's gonna make the car feel like brand new, to be honest. All right, let's get the sway bar out. Go that side, and just so you can see there's a pipe in the middle. So just be careful. I'll probably bring it towards your end, maybe.
All right, let me just get it out. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, how do we?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Easy as.
There you go.
Old sway bar's out. So there's the difference between the two. As you can see, the thickness, this is quite a lot thicker, which is gonna give us better rigidity and less body roll. So let's get that on. If I pass this to you underneath the car, this could be tricky. This might have been the wrong way.
There we go, that's through. Yeah, all good.
All right, cool.
It's now put into position.
All right, so it's just loosely sitting in there. Now we're gonna chuck the new bushings on. Just gonna grease up these new bushings. So once you got it slide over the sway bar, just put the metal clip, the original metal clip just goes on it, and that's what bolts up to the car. And then they just slide over the sway bar. This is very greasy.
Yeah, your hand gets really greasy.
Oh, my hands are too greasy.
Yeah, that's why I had to go and wash my hands.
So we've hit a little bit of a problem. I have an aftermarket radiator, which also has 2 fans on it. Because it's thicker, it's actually hitting against the sway bar. So we're gonna have to take those fans out and cut a little bit into just the case of them. Not the actual fan's gonna hit them, but the case of the fan is gonna hit. So that is why it's been so difficult to do the front ones. I'm gonna take those fans out now, cut them a little bit, just shim the edges off, then it should be good. We've just cut a little bit into there. Now the fan is very obviously clearing that still, like there's no problems, but that's gonna allow the sway bar to move freely and not interact with that. This won't be an issue if you don't have one of those thicker aftermarket radiators with an extra fan. If you have the stock cooling setup, you'll be fine. Just double check. I mean, the original sway bar was already touching it. It probably needed to be fixed anyway. So I'm just gonna chuck these in and then we'll be able to get back to working on the sway bar. The fans are in, and once these are tightened up, we check our end links and then put the wheels on. Well, Tom's had to go to work, so he's no longer with us. All right, so we've just got to torque up these end links. All those bolts are tightened up. So next we'll do the other side and then we'll put the wheels on and then lower the car. All right, so the sun's setting and we've got all of the bolts tightened up. I'm just gonna chuck the wheels on and tomorrow we'll resume with the test drive. So I'll see you there. And this is with the sway bars. I feel like we're shaking just as much as it was before. Maybe we're stronger.
That's a good point.
It was a few months ago.
Mate, okay, let's just do a bit lighter. Ooh, wow, look, whoa.
Ooh, that's
look at that.
stiff.
That's
Ooh.
super stiff.
Ooh. All right, we've had this installed for a couple weeks, had a chance to drive it and kind of get used to the new feel. Overall, it has made a pretty decent impact, especially going around corners. You're gonna feel that difference with the body roll. Before, you might get a bit more of a lean. Now, it's just a little bit less of a lean. I think really this feels like how it should from the factory, to be honest. It doesn't affect your ride quality at all. If you get coilovers and you put them to max stiffness, that gives you better handling, but it also makes it really uncomfortable to drive just anywhere. So sway bars don't really affect that. They give you the benefits of a stiffer suspension without the drawback of a more uncomfortable ride. We've got it to max stiffness because that's
what you wanted.
Yeah, I don't know. Depending on your suspension setup, this might be too stiff and cause you to have less grip around corners, but I don't really think so in the Miata. Maybe in some other cars, you might have this problem. It's not always best to go super stiff on sway bars because your car does need a little bit of body roll to kind of naturally grip. Otherwise, I don't really see many downsides to this install.
It was easy.
Very easy. They had instructions, which is always a big plus for me. I can't stand when someone gives you something, like you buy something like no instructions. So I did the front. That also took me a lot longer than it should have because I was filming and I was trying to explain things. Tom got it done in like, what, an hour?
Hour.
Yeah, so
out, in and out.
you can do it like probably in 2 hours if you're by yourself. Having a friend does help though.
And you don't need that many tools to do it.
Yeah, I don't even think we use a torque wrench. I mean, you probably should torque it up.
But it's also just common knowledge. Like you take them off and the bolts you're pretty much using are the same bolts, essentially. So if you know how to take it off, you know how to put it back on.
One thing that we did off camera is actually adjust the end links. Because the car's been lowered, the end link size, the stock ones, had the sway bar sitting a bit up and it was getting kind of close to the control arms and stuff. So I just shortened those end links and brought the sway bar down to like level. You probably don't need to do that, but it's
Have
always,
a look at it.
Yeah, it's always, best to check on that, especially if your car's lowered. The price, pretty good. I think this is a really good price for performance mod, especially when you're comparing like the price of sway bars to coilovers. You're probably better off getting the cheaper sway bars. So overall, it's a win for the sway bars. Really good mod. I'd probably recommend it as one of your first mods. It's up there with the short shifter for how much fun it's increased in the car.
Yeah, I think it's just that sort of thing where you don't have to pay a lot, you can get it done quickly and it improves your car a lot too.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below what you'd like us to see next on our car because we want to know what you guys think should be done next.
Do you know what you're doing next?
I don't.
Don't you?
I don't actually know what I'm doing next, so I do need some suggestions. Subscribe if you want to see more videos of the Miatas and our other cars. But until then, thanks for watching.